A very good evening to you. Thank you so much for tuning in into Champions TV. I'm your host, Mercy Kerry, and welcome to our program tonight, Marriage and Relationships. And tonight, our guest speaker, we have Mr. John Nganga. Thank you so much for coming, Mr. John Nganga. And the topic of discussion tonight is relationship. And talking about relationship, Mr. Nganga, what are the benefits of a relationship?
First of all, when God saw man alone, that's Adam in the Garden of Eden, he would come in the cool of the evening to have fellowship. But then their nature, the nature of God and the nature of man is different. So the man was alone. The first time in the book of Genesis for God to say it's not good, because he created the first day, he said it's good. Second day is good. 6 days is good. Everything was good. But after some time, you look at the man and said, it is not good that a man should be alone. In other words, it's not right for anybody not to be in a relationship. The only thing I have to very quickly explain, being in a relationship does not mean having a girlfriend. It does not mean getting married. It's simply that a man should not be an island. A man can have other men whom they are fellowshipping with. You can also have women and you're not marrying them. You're just in fellowship. It is important to understand the reason why we are in a relationship is because God created us with a capacity to relate. So what is the benefit of being in a relationship? Because it meets an innate need. We are created with a need in us. If you are a very great success, but nobody is interested in you, you have a problem. Kenyans just won New York Marathon recently. If there was nobody to clap, nobody interested in you, you can win and it doesn't look like a win. What makes you feel nice is to imagine your wife is watching you on TV or is physically there. Your children are watching. Your parents are watching. That relationship makes the win great. So you need to understand there's something in us that makes us want to be relating with others. So the first benefit is it meets an innate, natural need in us in order for us to relate with others. Secondly, relationships are important because they help us to be better people. You know, if you are coming out of the house and your dress is not properly zipped and you have no friend, you will go all over the town, people watching, wondering, what's wrong with Nganga? Why didn't he zip up? But if you have friends or you have religion, they'll quickly come and help you out. We are always better relating. Somehow God created us. I don't know if you have heard of the Johari widow. A Johari widow makes, is a way of representing the fact that there are areas of us we know and the areas other people know we don't know. If you want to know yourself well, it will be important to share what you know about yourself and the other people to share what they know about you and you don't know. So the first time I heard about Johari widow, I said, what? People know something about me I don't know. Happens to be true. I was giving Bibles, I'm a Gideon. I was giving Bibles somewhere in Nyandarua, in a big school with over 2,000 children. And so we needed to really organize them. The teachers rather had to organize them before we could start giving the Bibles. And we were just there talking as the children are being organized when one teacher said, hey, are you the one who speaks on radio? That's more than 20 years ago, almost 25 years ago. And I had been on VOK KBC for Havania. And so I had forgotten because by that time I had stopped. And I had forgotten, what do you mean radio? No, I know that voice. You mean radio. And because I was looking lost, he said, are you not the one who says this and this and this? I did not know that there is a word I always repeat. And for the person who having listened to me for 6 months, he knew my signature is something I keep repeating. I came back and listened to the cassettes of the messages, and I discovered it is true. I keep repeating it. I felt so bad. You mean that people know something about me that I don't know about myself? If you want to be a better person, you must have confidence. Who are confident? People you trust completely And people who trust you completely, and those that they are willing to dare to tell you what you do not want to hear about yourself. Some aspects of you that you have no idea about. By you knowing, they create, the area of awareness becomes bigger, and you actually be a better person because you now know something about you that you did not know, that you can actually become better. Thirdly, when you relate with other people, you form a team. And in a team, you are likely to produce either better quality or better product. Why do you have 7 Supreme Court judges? Because the assumption is one magistrate, even at his very best, may not produce as good a judgment as 7 of them if both of them are bright and fair and just. They are likely to produce something better. Relationship is supposed to improve our productivity. It's supposed to produce our output. And I think it's a very, very important, especially when we talk about quality, a very important thing to understand. People who relate, you are drawing a picture, then you have a friend of yours who can be honest about how your drawing is developing. They'll give you certain challenges, some criticism. When you go back and think about this, this should turn this way. That picture will come out far much better when you are the type of a person who listens. Of course, you can't listen to everybody. An enemy may be after spoiling your picture. So it needs to be somebody whom you know means good. And you end up producing something far much better. Teams produce much better. In my vernacular, we say, Kamwenge koyaga ajere. In other words, only several people together can lift the peso. Because it's so heavy, one person can't lift it. And you need to understand that if you are to make certain supreme achievements, we only do so if you have learned how to relate with others. So it's important to understand that, and the Bible talks about it in the book of Ecclesiastes. It says 2 are better than 1 because they will have higher productivity. They will do something bigger and better. So the Bible recognizes that 2 will help. In management, they call it synergy. What is synergy? If you can lift 5 pounds and I can lift 5 pounds, both of us will lift 10 pounds when we work separately. If we started relating, discuss how we can do it together and what we can do together, we end up lifting 12 instead of 10. The 12 is called the product of synergy. That when people work together, they produce something bigger than if they worked separately and alone. So when you say, what's the value of relationship? When you relate and you create teams, you are likely to achieve. In fact, I keep saying, the only business you can do alone is a kiosk. So when we keep emphasizing to all young people to become entrepreneurs, and if all young people refuse to be employed, we'll become a nation of kiosks. You need people who can agree to work with others. And in working with others, that way they'll be able to make multinational businesses. You can't make a multinational business if you're working alone. So that's the idea behind relating with one another. It helps you much better. But I'm back to the first thing I said. You are likely to have a better emotional stability, better seated life of contentment, better outlook to life when you have a relationship than when you work alone.
And what are the biggest priorities in a relationship?
Very good question. Now that you are convinced you need to be in a relationship, and we have already defined that we are not after you getting married. It's nothing to do with marriage. If marriage happens, that's secondary. Once you now understand the importance of having friends, for friends' sake, not for marriage, now you ask, what are the critical issues in marriage? Number 1 is accepting one another. 2 people who are not the same level and don't accept each other cannot be friends. A brigadier and a private who have difficulties having friendship. You need to come to where you are operating at an equal level. You cannot have where one is looking down on the other, one is commanding the other. That's not a good relationship. In a good relationship, it's important that you accept each other. I may be good in one thing, you are good in another thing. We both need each other. There is mutual dependency. You know, in a good relationship, we should not have dependence. Dependence is one person depends on the other. A slave and a master don't have a friendship. They have a relationship, but not the kind of relationship I'm talking about. Dependence is where this one produces nothing, they are totally dependent on the other one. That's not a good relationship. Independence is also bad for relationship. There are people who are so self-satisfied, they find themselves enough. They don't require anybody. If you are independent-minded, independent in operation, you're not good in relationship. It's important that you start saying, I have this need. So-and-so is God-given to meet it. I have that need. So-and-so is given. That the fact that you have a need in your life will make you sacrifice enough to be in a relationship with others. Because you can see what you are giving up, but you can see what you are gaining out of it. So independence is an enemy to good friendship. So what's my recommendation? Interdependent. Give and take. There is something I'm giving, there's something you are taking. There is something you are giving, there's something I'm taking. That relationship is likely to be very productive and very useful. So it will be critical then that in our own mind, because you're asking me what are the critical issues in a good relationship, that we see ourselves as, first of all, we are equal. Nobody's looking down the other. Number two, we are interdependent. Thirdly and importantly is trust. No good relationship can happen without trust. And that's why people destroy relationship with small lies. I look through the window, I find you're eating ugali, then you hear me knock and you hide the ugali. Then I ask you, hey, I'm hungry. Oh, I'm not eaten for 3 days. My friend, I saw you eating when I look through the window. I keep asking myself, if it can lie about ugali, what else is he lying about? Many relationships are killed by such silly, small things. Don't think that anything is too small. Do not, like we have had another program on integrity. It's better to tell me you don't want to tell me than to tell me a lie. Trust is bred by integrity. Integrity is the mother of trust. And once I know that whatever you say can be trusted, our relationship will be bad. Because you see, there will be issues that will make us feel like, I can't trust you, but then I'll give you the benefit of doubt. Therefore, we can relate well together.
Thank you so much, Mr. Ng'ang'a. This is Marriage and Relationships, and tonight we're talking about relationship. We'll take a quick commercial break and be right back to know the biggest priorities in a relationship.